key.
I had the key.
Howdy, Possum Patty here. And yeah, it's a little windy out today, and I was outside just doing a little bit of gardening in one little small area, and I had gotten these little fairy doorway, like a gateway, and a little bench from the Dollar Tree, and I just wanted to put them out there and make like a little fairy garden. So I was working on that, and I had to do some cleaning up too. So fairy garden, I was thinking, I was just watching Janet Nash, and she was making these scrappy fairies. She had all little scraps, and she was gluing them on there and drawing little tiny faces. Oh, they were so cute. I loved them. And then I was watching Christina down at the shack, and she was like Mod Podging napkins onto fabric, and I said, oh, that looks wonderful. And I thought, oh, I want to do that too, and I want to make fairies like Janet Nash. And I was like, what if I combine the two activities and make a few fairies like Janet, but do it with napkins on fabric like Christina? Why not? Come on along. The very first thing I did was take a strip of this unbleached muslin. I just ripped off a piece, and I poured some of this gesso, Liquitex gesso, into a cup. I have a nice soft brush, and I'm brushing on the gesso like this. And beware of where you are working, because the gesso will soak through the material. So I took out this plastic mat to work on, and that'll probably just wipe clean, so I don't have to worry about my surface. Now I like to leave a little of the natural color around the edge, so I'm not going to go all the way to the rippy edge. Kind of just leave that like that. Can you see where I'm going here with this? Let me flip it over. Okay, let me just show you. Now I'll go wash this out in a second. Underneath, see, it's all down here. So it will go through the material. So it's best to work on one of your crafty mats. And then I lifted these a few times to make sure that they don't get gesso to the mat. These are good up here. Okay. So now I'm going to let these dry. My next step now is to just tear up bits of napkins for the dress and the body and the wings of the fairies. Now I've just used a bunch of napkins. I chose one color for the skirt, one for the body, and I chose different elements to make the wings. On this one, these are like rose leaves. So this one has leaves for wings. This one has a very floral dress and ferns for wings. This one has butterfly wings for wings and a dress and a skirt. Now this one's going to be looking that way, so you only see like one set of wings. And I used the polka dot and the flowers. This one has a striped skirt and a bodice with a blue flower. And this one has bird wings for wings. So you can use anything for wings that you want to. You can even just rip up a piece of paper, doesn't matter what's on it, and use that if you like the color or the pattern on it, and make that the wings. And then I wanted to add a little flower, so I started ripping a flower out of this napkin. And I was like, oh, I have those washi tape flowers. And I love these, very pastel, very translucent. And I started sticking and put one on her dress. I put two on her bodice. Then I cut one in half and used it like as part of the wings on that one. And I put a cluster of them on the bottom of her skirt there. So let me show you how I made these. And it's just very free form. You know, you want the whole thing to be sort of light and airy and flowing, because these will be fairies after all. So what haven't I used yet for a skirt? I've used most of this up. Let's see. I think I just used this one. Well, it doesn't have to be different. This is a very bright colored one. We can go ahead and make a bright colored one. And then I'll fold these back up and save those for the next project, because you can always use a scrap of a napkin on something. Oh, this is interesting. It's white on the edges. Okay, you always have to check and see how many layers you have. And I've got my Scotch tape right here. And you stick one on one side and one on the other side, and you just pull it apart. Magic. No fumbling for the edges. Save this bit to wipe my hands on. And this one's going to be colorful. These are like tropical flowers. And let's see, this piece is a little bit bigger. It doesn't matter though. Oh, and I was thinking, yeah, after I started sticking these little flowers on with the washi tape, maybe I can use some of the petals, the washi tape petals, to make wings. So I'm going to try that out. And let's see, what am I doing here? Okay, I want to make all the edges rippy, because you want to give your fairy sort of a airy, floating vibe. Almost like she's fluttering. Well, that's a very big skirt, so let's knock that down a little bit. Okay, I think I've used just about every napkin I pulled out of the drawer, at least a little bit of every napkin I pulled out of the drawer. I used the pink and the green, and I don't want to leave anybody out. Oh, I didn't use this one, but this has little tiny flowers and bugs. Oh, I could take those little ladybugs and stick them on there. That would be fun. Yeah, I could do that. So we'll save that one for sure. That can be last. We'll save that for last. I got a pile of paper on the table. I don't know why. Let's just throw that on the floor. There. Okay. Try to be organized, but you know. All right. And I thought this little dragonfly, but that's kind of big. I think those little ladybugs, though, would fit around the edges of those. I haven't used this one yet. And this one's already been taken apart. The back has been taken apart of this one already. So I'm just tearing a little piece off. Alright, so This is the skirt. This is the bodice. It's got to be a little smaller. Like that. Okay, now let's make this one in the middle. And make 2 wings on each side. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this down first. I'm just going to put a little bit of this clear gesso in their cup. If I put too much, I just scrape it back into the bottle. And let's see. Put some underneath. You got to be very careful. Use a soft brush, a very soft brush. And if you rub it with your fingers, you got to be careful. Because I think I touched it after I did it, and a little bit came off over there, but that's okay. I don't even think I realized I touched the wing. That might be a little too tall for for the top. I gotta be careful now because it's wet. That's a little better. That's a better. Okay. Oh, I got a little butterfly here. Stuck. Now, wipe my fingers, and which petals do I want to use? I've got white, but I made the background white. I've got a light pink, that might go. I've got a purple. Oh, where's the... This is a darker pink. And this is a darker purple. Oh, and then I got these yellow ones. Ooh. All right, a little bit more gesso. And let's see. I'm going to save the yellow and orange one. Put on the top, I think. I'm going to put some of the purple ones on the bottom. Now you could do this any way you want to, any shape wings. You can make wings out of anything. Maybe you have some flower stickers. Scraps of paper, just more of that tissue. Napkins. I don't want the wings terribly big, but I thought something like that. Okay, I don't like this one. That's better. Yeah, okay, so I've got 3 purple in the background and then the peach and the yellow. So let me see if I can do that again on this side. And then what I'm going to do is I'll have to let these dry really well. And then Janet Nash was showing how she drew the little fairy faces and put hair on. See, now here's my yellow and my peach, so I'm going to put those aside for right now. There's my peach. One more purple petal. You just peel these off. They come off. You don't have to cut them or anything. just like that. I will link these below. And a discount coupon. Love these floral washi tapes from Crayspire. Okay, I'm going to put on the peachy one. Put on the yellow one. All right. Well, those are some beautiful wings. Those are some beautiful wings. Oops. Which I just knocked off. You're dealing with delicate fairy wings. You've got to be a little bit gentle. Okay, so I'm going to let this one dry, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to finish this up. Well, it may not be Messy Monday, but I'm doing a pretty good job of covering this table with gesso and Mod Podge and paint and whatever else I'm pulling out here. Okay, so I gave the fairies their face, their hair, and I gave them all a little ladybug. Now this is all still wet, and I splashed it with gold, and I splashed it with sparkle Mod Podge, which is still very wet. This one's very pretty. And look at this one. She's gorgeous. I like the one with the blue hair. Oh, she's got a lot of sparkle on her. Oh, he's just splashing things everywhere. And look at this one. Well, you know, fairies come in all body types, just like people. But I think all these fairies, even though they look so different, I think they all belong to the same tribe. And this is a special tribe of fairies that when your flowers get attacked by aphids, they rush to the spot to save the flower with their little ladybugs. The ladybugs will eat the aphids off the flowers. So they have a mission. These are fairy women with a mission. And that is to bring the little ladybugs to the flowers that are getting eaten by the aphids. So how did I finish these off? Very messily. Very messily. Okay, so where's the one that I'm working on? Oh, here it is. All right, so here's my last one. And what I did first was to draw the face, and all I did was make a U shape like this. Let me look back and see what I did. Okay, and then I made sort of like the tops of eyes, maybe up at a little angle, and then I made some pupils. Now I'm drawing with a pencil, but you have to beware, because when you draw with a pencil on gesso, if you try to erase it, you are just going to make one big mess. So if there's a line you don't like, just leave it and forget about it. And then a little line for a nose, and for a mouth. Just a little bit of a mouth. That's it. That's all I did. I did it with the pencil first. And then, you know, you just want it very loose, very sketchy. Put in a neck, and I gave them all like a little ruffle thing here. And for the eyes, don't worry about it. Just do it very sketchy, very loose, very light. You know, because the fairies are so hard to see anyway, that they're sort of like always on the move. And then I just kind of gave them a little sketchy outline. This one has a beautiful dress. Maybe the waist is over here, and she's got flower petal wings, and you might want to go around those a little bit. And then the arms are going to come down here. But I didn't like the way the black arms were looking, so I did go over them. I never left much room for the feet, did I? No. But, you know, that's okay. I get the little fairy shoes on. And what I did was I took a pink paint pen and I gave her a little bit of pink on the cheeks, and then a little bit of pink to help bring out those arms, because I know those arms just are not showing up. Oops. I just splattered pink everywhere. This is a Sharpie paint pen, and it is water-based, so it will clean up. Probably would be better off with an acrylic, would probably show up better than a water-based, right? But that's good, that's good. All right, now for the hair, I used my Elegant Writers, which are calligraphy pens, but they do react with water. So let's give her some hair, very loose and fun. It's like it's blowing in the breeze. And I'm going to have her hair all going around to one side, I think. Like that. And then I take a tiny, tiny, tiny brush and sort of activate some of that ink. I don't want it too dark. There. Some water on it, give it a little dab. I think the other one I might have tried to put a dot of pink on the lips, maybe. I need to work on these arms. I thought the Sharpie would go over it, but maybe not. Alright, we're not going to worry about it. Next comes the ladybug, which I'm getting off of this napkin. So here's one down here. Got the oops, I almost dropped the sparkle Mod Podge. Got the sparkle Mod Podge, and I was trying to splatter it with this fan-shaped brush, but it wasn't working very well. But let's give her her ladybug. Now if I put some water on there. And splatter it on there. Splat, 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 splat. Now I better check the camera, because when I do this I usually wind up getting it on the camera. I'll check the lens in a second. Okay, now I did splat some gold, and I have Schmecky Dry Gold Gouache. Dry gold gouache. This is what it looks like. And I got some mixed up in this cup. It's just like powder, and you put a little water on it and it comes alive. If you don't have gold, you can splash any color. You can use any kind of napkins. You can use any kind of pens. You know, maybe you have watercolor pens or distress ink pens. Anything will work. What else did I do? Was that it? Ooh, she came out lovely. Well, I guess maybe it takes a few to get one that you really like. There was one more thing I wanted to do, but now these are all going to have to dry. And I want to stitch around these and, I don't know, maybe do something else. So I think I'm going to have to end the video now because it's getting late, and let these really dry really well. And then I can, maybe I'll come back tomorrow and I'll finish these up, and I'm going to give away some butterfly die cuts from the Dollar Tree. So thanks for coming along today, and happy fairy making. Bye-bye.